Eh? Jai Gurudev, everybody. So, yesterday, like I announced, that we will stop from the 1st of June the Satsang and Japam daily, but only on Tuesday and Thursday we will carry on with it. And I got many messages, very often people were saying that how they feel sad about it, but we will stop the Satsang and Japam. One thing you have to understand, even if we don't do the Japam together, for sure, don't stop the Japam. This have become a habit for you. Keep on, carry on chanting the name of God. And of course, the Satsang, you can always listen to the Satsang. But beyond that, you see, not just to listen to the Satsang, it is important also to try to practice, what one is listening. So that is the most important thing. And also to share it, to others. So, Jacob, I will ask you a question.
Dear Guruji, sometimes we try to do good, but it seems the outcome is not beneficial, and vice versa. How can we align our actions with God's will and accept the outcome?
You see, in your question, what you said, how can we align ourselves with God's will? Firstly, to do God's will, we have to forget our own impression from our mind, because when we want to do something, very often we do it from a very egoistic point of view. And that's why we say, okay, as long as it turns good, it is God's will. When it doesn't turn good, then you get frustrated and angry. So that you see that very often in many people's life. They go and do things, with great expectation. And of course they expect that because they are spiritual or they have been praying, because you see very well, if you have a problem, your prayer is intensified. When you have a court case, your prayer is intensified. And of course, you see, this is the resolve, to the Supreme, that He is there to uplift you, to stand by you. But at the same time, if you have such confidence that everything is in His hand, why should you worry about? He's there with you, He's supporting you, and He stands by you. It doesn't matter in which kind of situation you are, whether you are happy or you are not happy, He is always there with you. But the point is that you are not always there with Him. So when you embrace your worry and your problem and make them the most important, where is God then? He's just standing there and look at you, seeing how you have put yourself in misery. And now you are pitying yourself. Like that, you see, throughout life itself, you have done the same mistake. You are carry on doing the same thing. Guru come and remind you of that. Look, that cycle which you have created, not only in this life itself, but endless life. It's not about fulfilling your will. It's about fulfilling the divine plan which you have come here for. Very often you don't realize it, but nature carry you and bring you where you have to be. When we look, how life goes on, everything is pre-planned itself, But are we adapting to the flow of life, or are we swimming against the current of life? When you swim against the current of life, then you can't say that you're doing God's will. But you have to swim with the flow of life itself, without worry, without fear, knowing that He's with you, And if you know that you are doing His will, but every moment you are approaching nearer and nearer to Him. And when we see, how life carries us itself, you will see that in Bhagavatam, Canto 3, chapter 31, you can see how life is explained, from the first moment when the evolution start to happen itself, And in the verse 9, Bhagavan said that the soul, the consciousness, it's feeling trapped like a bird which is restricted of movement. The bird can't move. So like that, a child, the baby inside the womb, feel, And that's what happened due to the consciousness awakening. The descent of the consciousness, into this body itself, the 7 months, start to having all the past life's memories, seeing life, all these hundreds and thousands of lives that one have gone through, feeling that pain also, and ask oneself, what am I here for? Why am I so unlucky again to be back again into this world? And at that moment, bound by this this body itself, which is the soul cry inside, praying to Bhagwan, what I have done to be back here into this world. And now that I am here, I appeal to you, and I'm calling to you, come, save me, you. In the same, he carry on saying that in this, I'm appealing to the Lord of Lords, the Lord who protects the whole, protect the whole universe, the Lord which protect me. I'm calling upon to you. I take refuge to the lotus feet of Sriman Narayana, that supreme Lord which have walked upon this world itself, who have manifest so many times for the savior of humanity itself, I appeal to that continuously throughout. You see, the soul within the womb pray to Bhagwan itself. I will be born into this world of delusion, the world of Maya. How can I save myself? Only by taking refuge to your lotus feet I can save myself. So throughout being inside the womb of the mother, the soul, the consciousness, pray to the Lord Himself and calling Him to save him. Like that you used to realize, a devotee soul is not like a normal soul, because the devotee have been prepared through many lives to become a devotee. Throughout this journey of life itself, the devotee have been praying and have been connecting with the Supreme Lord. Then when the Supreme Lord says one is worthy, it is placed inside. From inside itself, it already start calling for him. So Bhagwan listening to this call of the devotee, that's why when life happened outside later on, he revealed himself. He said, look, I am with you. I have given you my name for you to call me, for you to connect with me. You see, throughout, whenever you are inside the womb, you are praying to him to protect you continuously. Throughout that, you have been asking him, call, save me, free me from this cycle of birth and death. But yet, the moment you come out into this world, you forgot everything. Yogamaya catch you. When you come out from the channel outside, your head is being pressed. The moment your head is being pressed, you come out lifeless. You come out in this world lifeless. Only when you get a slap, then you start crying. Then yes, the child is alive. When you take that first breath itself, life. You are here again into this pitfall. Oops, back into this world. So this is a journey that you have gone through, not only one time. You have gone through that many, 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 many times, And now God have, when you have forgot about it, the moment you come into this world, all the prayer that you have addressed to the Lord Himself, you forgot about it. But Bhagwan never forget about it. He sent the Guru. He himself come in different aspect to remind you of his connection with you. Here you're talking about doing God's will. Firstly, bind yourself to know about His will. You know your will. You know what you like and you know what you don't like. You know what is good for you and you know what is not good for you. But do you know what will please Him? What should I do to be more closer to Him? This is a prayer that you have done already when you were in the womb. And that's what you have prayed to Him, to rescue you, to save you, to free you. That's why He has brought you on the spiritual path itself. This is the path what will bring you out from that cycle of birth and death and attain His lotus feet. How merciful is Him, who have heard that prayer from already inside the womb of your mother. And yet, when you come here and you see, how can I unite my will with His will? It's not about your will. You're always doing His will. You just need to learn to accept the flow of life itself. You have to accept and let Him carry you. He's ever ready to do that. Just change your mindset. Stop being in fear. Stop worrying. Fear and worry, this is two things that stop you because you're blind to see what is in the future. That's why you get fear and you worry about it. So let go of these things. That's why I said, hold the feet of the Lord. That's what you have prayed for. You have prayed to the Lord to protect you, to save you, to free you. Now He's giving that to you. He's giving this opportunity to you. Why waste that opportunity? You don't remember your relationship to Him, but He does remember His relationship with you. And due to that, He brings Himself into your life. And this is the beauty of it, and the beauty of life itself, and beauty to be the devotee of the Supreme Lord Himself. You're not just a devotee of somebody else, you're not just a devotee of XYZ. No, you're a devotee of the Supreme Lord Himself. You're dedicated to Him. You have surrendered to His feet. Hold tight upon that and know that being a bhakta, He is there always with you.
Jai Gurudev Guruji. During the Maha Lakshmi Yajna, you performed abishekam to Giridhari and Takurji. Can you please tell us the story of Takurji and how he came to you?
You can have the story from other people, so I'm not here to tell stories right now.
Excellent. Dear Guruji, if I can't do my puja in the morning, because my mother forbids me to do it in the night, she says only lighting a lamp is sufficient. Are there any time restrictions on doing abhishekam or puja, and what to do if I miss the morning one?
Sorry, what?
She says, if I can't do my puja in the morning,
then you can do it any time.
My mother forbids me to do it in the evening.
No, you can do your puja anytime, So if you don't by any, of course, if you're doing abhishekam, all the stuff, sometimes you can miss it, like for example, when I travel, sometimes in the morning, sitting in the plane, I will not do abhishekam. So either I do it manas abhishekam, or when I come back, then I do it. I'm sure the Lord doesn't mind if you're worshipping Him any time of the day, whether it is night or morning. So there's no specific. But you see, according to the rules, it said that of course when you in the morning, why we say in the morning is because you see when you wake up in the morning, you're fresh. So your mind have already rest itself. So the concentration upon what you're doing is more stronger at that time. So whereas in the evening when you're worshipping, you know, if let's say for example you're doing your worship, you close your eyes in dhyan, what will happen? Automatically your mind will view the day itself. You start to think about what have happened during the day. So the concentration is broken. So when you do it in the morning, because there is no memory of the day before, because your mind have rested. So due to the rested mind, then due to the rested mind, it's easier to concentrate. Yeah. So that's why it is said that doing prayer in the morning, it's much beneficial. It is due to your concentration only.
Guruji, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a detailed description of the universe with Adishesh supporting it and with many lokas. But a modern day scientist would not accept this explanation. How should we understand this?
You see, when we read about this, you know, of course, like when we talk about chakras in the body, you know, if you go and dig inside and look for the 7 chakra, you will never find it, you know, because it is not material. It is a divine body. It is not visible for the physical eyes, actually. It is visible for a spiritual eyes, you know. So the same thing when Krishna manifests himself into his cosmic form in front of Arjun. Of course, Arjun with the 2 physical eyes, he could not perceive what Krishna said to him. To see that, you must have divine sight. And Bhagavan Krishna, by his grace, gave this divine sight to Arjun. Then he could perceive the full manifestation of the Lord himself, you know. So like that itself, you know, when it is said in the Bhagavad that the world is sustained onto Adishesh head, you know. So we don't need to look at it in a logical point of view, you know, because it is not, of course, when we look at it in the modern science will say, okay, yeah, we've been outside, but yet we saw the earth from far away. We didn't see any, Adishesh holding, holding Mother Earth upon. So what that means is that there is a law which govern the whole universe in itself, you know. So the whole universe is governed by different deities protecting and holding upon them. And for Mother Earth, because you see, when we look at this vast universe, okay, you have seen the universe, a picture of the from the moon itself looking at Earth. It is incredible to see that the world and all the other planets is turning around the sun. It is very mysterious how it keep the same trajectory. You know, the Earth tomorrow will not say, I'm going opposite. No, said, okay, I have gone around the sun clockwise always, you know, now I will do anti-clockwise. You know, it never happened. You know, and all the other planets, they have the fixed distance. It's as if something is controlling them. Now, so you see that how mysterious is that, you know. So here Bhagavan is saying that because of that, you see that the devas, they control these spheres itself, you know. So Adishesh control Mother Earth and hold Mother Earth into its place, which means energetically it is creating that protection and also that keep it in balance in that way. Like that also you have other deities, you know, like which is protecting other planets, you know. So, like Saturn is Shani Dev, Chandra, the moon is Chandra Dev, So like that, they have their specific energy and role, but this is into this cycle itself, but it doesn't create any disharmony into that. So that's why, if you go and look, try to find Adishesh sitting there, no, you will not find. For that, you need divine sight to see the energy flow, and that energy flow which is protecting Mother Earth, it's like a snake, and it is similar to her say when we look at Mother Earth itself, you see the blue shine, how beautiful she is, So her own energy field in itself look like a snake. That's why it is said that Adishesh is protecting Mother Earth. And yeah, so I will answer the second question itself. So the story of Takurji, you see, it's a long story, but I cut it short now. So, when I saw Takurji, I fell in love with him. And I said to the person who had the deity, I would like to have that deity, here in the ashram, in the museum here. And very well, we have lots of, relics of different saints in the museum here. So the person said it's not possible. But then he said, let's see, come back in 3 days' time, So in 3 days' time, then we will, discuss about it. So after 3 days, actually no, the next day, Swami Vishamoni was going into the market, and he met the person, and then she called me and said to her, listen, you go there and take picture of that deity itself. So she went and took picture of that deity. So when she came back and she showed me the picture and all this finished, after 3 days we went to go and see the man, and the man, when we met him, he said it's not possible, I said, why is it not possible? I said, look, you have to give a lot of money for that. And then I said, okay, fine, let's see how much we have, So we had X amount of money, and it was quite a lot actually, and so then we checked the money that we had. We didn't have so much money, so whatever the devotee had, so we contribute together. So we came to a certain amount of money, which is less. So we went again and said, okay, we'll give you that. So he said, not well, it's okay, fine, I will accept it. So I told him, look, we don't have the money with us, so right now you come and get the money in the ashram. So not in our ashram, we were staying in another ashram before that. So then he showed me the deity. It was very fine, but there was one thing that I noticed, that the deity was polished nicely. So okay, fine. Then he said, okay, I will bring the deity. So he packed the deity and he put it in his mala bag, and he brought it to the center, to the ashram where we are staying. So when he brought the deity, we gave him the money. And of course, deep inside of me, I felt, he's taking that, make a paper with him. So he made a paper and he signed it, that he's handing over the deity to us. So he signed the paper and he left. And when I received the deity, I didn't have the same feeling. And I said to Swamini, please show me the picture. So she brought the picture and we were looking. It's completely different. It was a different deity, a copy. So I was shocked, because in the picture, the deity have the little finger hooked like this. And you can see that is a copy. So then I said to Shamani, called the man, if, either he returned the money or he gave us the original deity. So what he did, he didn't reply firstly. So then I said, Vishwamani, please take this deity, go and return it there. So she went there, and when she was there, the man said, called her, she called the man, and the man spoke with him and said, oh, I'm coming home right now, wait for me. So she waited and waited and waited. Meanwhile, what that crook have done, he called his wife and said, oh, you close the house and everything, and the back door, they left. Of course, the temple was closed there, and his wife left, leave the light on as if they are inside. So she left. So for hours she was still waiting. Nothing happened. So then Swamini said, what can I do? And I said, okay, look, come back. So when she came back, and of course the copy was still there. So I said, okay, you put that copy there in the cupboard. So we'll see tomorrow what will happen. So when that happened, so overnight, it's so funny. One thing that was very strange is the weather change. So during the day it was beautiful weather, and instantly it becomes so stormy, and it's rain like flooded. In Vrindavan it started to flood everywhere. There was water everywhere. And it's funny that the next day morning, I said, okay, I have to take some action now, because that man have took all our money and gone and have given us a copy. So I went to talk with Babaji, and then when I finished talking with him, and we came down for breakfast, and then he said, okay, we will see what we can do. So he wanted to see the deity. So I sent somebody up, I can't remember who. So I sent somebody up to get the deity. And when the person went up, came down, and said, oh, yesterday the deity was dressed yellow, but when he went up, the clothes have changed into white. So then we went up, and it was not the copy anymore, it was the original one. So it got changed overnight. So this is the story of Takurji, how he came to me. So, Jai Gurudev.